Yes, sir.
Good morning. Namaskaram, dear all children, and a wonderful Sunday morning. As wanted by you, we've shifted the event to Sunday because all you guys were not free on Saturday. Even I got committed on Saturday. I was not very keen on Sunday mornings, but still fine. Thanks to Dr. Chakravarti, is also slightly free today. Today's discussion, we left it open. As this is one of the components where you have prepared something on your own. Any topic which is very close to your heart, which is very relevant for today's social, academic, economic, health issues, anything, whatever it is which is relevant for our seniority. So 3 to 4 minutes, and maybe in the times to come, you will find me. We'll do a kind of an exercise. What we'll do is we will go alphabetical announcement of names. As the first speaker is speaking, we will announce a topic for the second speaker. So the second speaker has got a right to mute and keep your speaker and mic off and prepare your lecture quickly in about 3 minutes time, and you'll be the next speaker to speak. You'll get about 3 minutes to speak. To see your kind of extempore creativity, on the spot creativity as to how do you speak. Slightly demanding it would be, but I'll not do it now. Maybe after some time. So as of now, we go by what you have already prepared, right? So if that be so, let me call upon the first speaker. I think it's alphabetically Master Aniket Rai. Aniket Rai, joining from Coimbatore. Aniket, over to
So,
you. I'm pinning you.
so, good morning, everyone. So today I'm going to. Sir, is I'm audible, sir?
Yeah, clear.
Yes, sir. So today I'm going to talk about the importance of mental peace, especially among the teenagers. So recently, the results of some competitive exams like NEET and JEE are announced, and we can see that a very few number of students able to crack it due to limited number of seats and high competitions, and a very large number of students not able to crack it every year. And with this, we can hear some news like students taking wrong steps or committing suicides because of the failure or due to the fear of the failure. So being a teenager, I also I have also gone through this stage, and I think I know how much pressure we have to face, and in fact, this pressure is nothing as if I compare it to the pressure that is we have to face in the next coming 3 to 4 years. But still, due to the lack of experience and proper guidance, it can create a big problem in our future. So this teenage, especially the age of 15 to 18 years, are, can be very much exciting or challenging for us and both for our parents too. So during this age, our emotions get affected, our self-esteem get affected by success in school, sports, and friendships. And especially if I talk about the students of class 10 to 12 in India, like they have very high expectations from themselves, as we all have high dreams and we all want to be successful in life. So in road to our dream, we have to pass many uh, difficult 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 things, whether it's about scoring good marks in the academics or clearing some exam or winning any championship. But when one's not able to do that, they start feeling depressed, they are morally down, and for them it's like sab kuch khatam. But it's not true, it's just the beginning of the life, and this is where the mental peace or mental health plays a crucial role. So, how to achieve it? In order to achieve a mental peace or mental health, our habits or hobbies is one of the important thing that affects the most. So, we must ensure on the daily basis that we are utilizing a day in a very productive and a positive manner. And we should try to stay away from the negativity, whether it's the thought in our mind or the people around us, as much as we can. In order to maintain a good mental health, we should indulge in about at least 30 to 45 minutes of the outdoor activities, whether it's like playing sport, exercise, yoga, etc. And one thing that we as a teenager face is like we are not that much expressive. We are not like introduced to the outer world. So we need to be expressive. We need to share our feelings, our problems with the teachers, parents, or elders, so that we are not alone during the difficult time, and we can all together tackle the problem. And in conclusion, I would like to say that peace is not the most important priority in our life, but it is the most important fundamental requirement. So thank you so much.
Oh, that's a wonderful start, Master Anike. He says, do not stay alone and keep your problems with you yourself. When you are in difficulty, please talk it out and remain in group. As you rightly said, very many of us have preferred to remain alone these days, and talking your problem to anybody else was a taboo. They thought, nahi yaar, kya hai, choti moti problem bata raha hai. You know, we as teachers, we always, we're all from the teaching fraternity, we always have said any small little issue, if it bothers you, speak it out. And even among classmates, by me asking, my asking one silly doubt or a problem to be solved, I may help remotely 10 others. Never ever, I mean, very rightly he said, and he also made a mention that remain active, indulge in some sort of outdoor activities, be it sport, yoga, physical activities, and a great divergence is music, art, dance, and cultural activities, group activities. It really, really makes you so happy. I think it's a wonderful trigger you started. May I also request Dr. Chakravarti and Mr. Sujan Jose, keeping this point in view, maybe on Saturday evenings, sir, whenever you find time, the similar arrangement what is done in your one of the classrooms where you have 10-15 students seated, they can also witness this cultural programs what we do. So it will be a great outlet for them, maybe for about half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe in rotation, or they can reserve some questions. The artist will be more than happy to answer them, because it will be something wonderful. I can request Dr. Chakravarti, if possible, whenever we do, this facility could be extended to the little ones of your school. Wonderful, Aniket. It's a great start. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause to him.
Yes.
May I pin the next speaker, Miss Anushri Prasad. Anushri, your mic is already on. I think you're ready to speak. Over to you, Anushri. Here you are again. Your phone is showing, some sort of yogasana. Can you select your phone for the landscape mode? See, either you select landscape or portrait. So now we are seeing you. This is a shade better, I would say. So you guys can deselect the rotate option, keep it in landscape, then you freeze it. Anyway, continue.
Deselecting is the key.
Yeah, you have to deselect initially. Small little technical aspects. All of us have learnt it by hit and trial only. None of us are. See, in fact, these days these children are so lucky. They are taught with computers, coding, whatnot. Our times we never had any such thing. Yeah, Anu, we can see you straight. Yeah.
Yes, am I audible, sir?
Yeah, you're audible. Please continue.
So today, good morning everyone. Today I would like to talk about Uniform Civil Code and importance of implementing Uniform Civil Code in India. So, Uniform Civil Code is a proposal in India to formulate and implement personal laws of the citizen while applying on all citizens equally regardless of their religion. So, UCC is all about gender equality, gender justice, preventing violations of human rights, so that we will get an integrated India and nation building is facilitated. So in India, 80% of the citizens are kind of under Uniform Civil Code, and a rest of the 20% is bound by religious practices and other personal laws. For Hindus, there are some laws like inheritance, business succession, marriage and adoption. And if we talk about Muslims, there was triple talaq, polygamy, etc. And these special laws are meant for those people who belong to that particular religion. In India, majority majority is in the Hindu religion, and because of that, father of Indian Constitution, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar said that when you modify Hindu laws, majority of the nation would be covered, and only Christian, Muslim, Parsis, and Jews are not covered. So, and because of that, Hindu laws were modified in 1955 by the recommendation of B.N. Rao Committee. So, in our constitution, Uniform Civil Code comes under Article 44. We know in India, Goa is the only state as of now implemented Uniform Civil Code, but there is an exception there too. Like Goan Civil Code is largely based on Portuguese Civil Code of 1867, and which is introduced in Goa in 1870. So, according to the law, if a woman fails to deliver a child by the age of 25, or if she fails to deliver a male child by the age of 30, her husband has a right to marry another woman. So that is the law that is a law implemented in Goa. And this is only for Hindus. For the other communities like Muslims and other communities, we talk about them. The law prohibits bigamy, like marrying other person. So this is how Goan Civil Code works. So the second one, if I talk about Hindu undivided family. So HUF is a family which consists of all persons lineally descended from a common ancestor. So under Income Tax Act 1961, an HUF is considered as a person and treated as a separate entity for tax payment. So HUF has unique PIN code also. Because of this, they can reduce paying tax and losing lakhs. Because of this, government is losing lakhs of money as this because they are giving the special case to this HUF. So India is vast and diverse, so that it is difficult to get everyone under a single law. And we have challenges also, like some communities believe that it is an interference in their religion, so they are against the implementation of this law in India. So before implementing this law, people must be educated. So what is this law, and they should be taught what kind of law is implementing and how it affects their lives. So that is what I want to talk about Uniform Civil Code, sir. Thank you.
Very well put across, Anu. It's a very sensitive, very relevant, very, very important topic. You started and you yourself said, yes, in a country like India, it's very difficult to go for across the board implementation of Uniform Civil Code. We have, far big challenges to face. Yes, but something is on in a big way where the moment people become sensitive to each other as a human, implementing anything across the board common is not a big deal. Now the problem is, I am not sensitive to your requirements as a human. I am not bothered what you do. I am bothered of me, myself, or maybe in my little way, in my small little world. That is the biggest issue. And she rightly said it. And yes, this Goan Civil Code is is a debatable one. And you rightly brought it. I am sure a couple of us have known or heard about Goan Civil Code for the first time. 1867, the Portuguese. Absolutely.
That's what I wanted to
About
Anushree has given a very good information, very informative topic.
Absolutely, very, very informative, nice topic, and very sensitive also, very relevant
Very
also.
sensitive, very good.
And thank you. I mean, I really can't express much about this because it has its own limitations to talk about in so many terms. The gender sensitivity and humane sensitivity is the silver line, the bottom line of getting anything uniform across the board. The moment I understand a woman or man should not try to divide themselves because of gender disparity, then everything falls in place. After that, the moment I understand every human is same, then all caste, creed, religion, economy based, rich, poor, everything gets disintegrated. Though it is utopian, it's not impossible. Fantastic, Anu. And one request. We have our own way of pronouncing names. Across the country, the Prime Minister is called Modi, And Tamil Nadu, everybody will call him Modi. He's not Modi at all. He's Modi. But for some reasons, people keep calling him Modi, Modi, Modi. MODI is Modi. CHETAK is not Chetak, it's Chetak. So we should be sensitive to that. So let us try and pronounce the names correctly. Dr. Bhimarao Ramji Ambedkar. Ambedkar. He is not Ambedkar or Ambedkar. It's not your mistake or my mistake. That is how we've been hearing. Chakravarti sir, am I right in saying so? He is
Very good,
Dr.
very good.
Bhimarao Ramji Ambedkar. Okay.
Yes.
Ambedkar is not his own name. It was his guru's name. It was his teacher's name. For honest, the reverence he had towards his teacher, he attached his surname for him.
Yeah.
Otherwise, his original name is Bhimarao Ramji. We will Ambedkar. He's not Ambedkar. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful, Anu. That's a nice, great star continuation. It's a good topic. We'll
safe sex, and so much more that can make this world a better place. Now, slowly but steadily, we will grow, but it is very possible for there to be rise in conservative agendas. Like, for example, recently NCERT had decided to introduce training manual for sensitizing teachers about the LGBTQIA students, which was very recent. I reckon not even a month back. But the Hindu right wing was offended for some reason, so the NCERT had to delete this entire inclusion. This is, definitely we have to face all of this, but 3 steps forward and 1 step back is still 2 steps forward. And I still have hope for this. And my generation and all of us present in this meeting today, if we know about this topic at all, I'm sure has been mostly from the internet. And I hope the coming generations wouldn't have to secretly search upon the incognito tabs about normal day-to-day life things, because they will be taught about this. We have a long way to go, but I believe there is light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you.
Okay, Devu, I can request you 1 more minute. The reason is your initial portion of the talk could not get recorded. For some reasons, my recorder stopped, I had to restart. So, please introduce the topic again. As we rightly understand, you say there is no mention or clarity about the understanding of the queer community at school level. You introduce, and maybe I'll have my few questions which I'll request Dr. Chakravarti also to join it. Just introduce the topic because we missed the introduction part. Please continue.
Okay. So today I will be talking about the importance of representation and welfare of the LGBTQ community in school level. And I'm very lucky to have a principal present here amongst us today. So I will be much more heard, I feel.
Very nice, very nice. Okay.
In 2000,
we that story of that girl, not being with us is known almost to all of the teaching community stakeholders. We know that. Let me tell you, this topic worldwide, as I understand, as my understanding goes, is very recently, maybe 10 years or 15 years before that, this was a big taboo. Even a normal sex education, good touch, bad touch for a small child, from that age onward, even a small born baby is not safe in somebody else's hands. That is what the problem is coming. So now, when to start, when to educate them, there was a big debate, and they were not talking about it at all for some years. Later on, some good Samaritans, they mustered courage. No, our children have to be taught. We should tell them how to dress, how not to, how to identify even good looks or bad looks. At least a young girl is sensitive to know if someone is looking at you, staring at you for more than 3 seconds. Is it a good stare or a bad stare or with a wrong intent? A child is capable of understanding. That thing has come into some legality has been given worldwide to accept the third gender or the neutral gender or the trans people, their bodily requirements and economic and social assurance in society has now come into some sort of a mainstay now. Things have been I won't say in their favor, in their justice. As a human, anyone born, maybe an animal, maybe a plant, every living being or non-living being has got a reason to exist, has got a validity to exist in this world. If that validity, same thing when I spoke about the previous what Anushri said, she's talked about uniform civil code that talks about gender equality and gender sensitivity and understanding each human in the same perspective. That is what is for this be also for queer LGBT community. But the issue now is at what age or stage we start in school. School curricula, every school, at least the CBSE sponsored schools in Fauj, and you talked about giving choice to wear the uniform. In Fauj, at least what happens? Everyone is given the same uniform. When they go for military training, NCC, say, I mean, don't you just think you go to Scout or NCC, at least in NCC, you're allowed to
So
wear
that
the
is a
same.
good thing actually.
Yeah, that's it. So if that could be, brought into the school life also, why not? A boy or a girl should be given a choice to wear the kind of uniform what he or she wants to, still conforming to some common standards is not a bad thought. What I would request you, Devu, having known you for some time now, I know what sort of a student you are. Sir, very recently I had to send a letter of recommendation for her, some project she's undertaking. So where I had to mention in so many words, it just happened a couple of days before, where I had sent in a kind of a document to her further mentors. I was so proud in writing about you, and they will let me assure you, each and every word I wrote about you is 200% true. None of the words are doctored or concocted or just to appease authority above you. No. I hope you were with me, whatever words I had sent. I gave the liberty to tell her, Devu, you can amend what you want if it is not suiting. She said, no, sir, absolutely fine. Only thing, I may not number the paragraphs. I said in Fauj, we write every paragraph with number, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Possibly she removed it. I mean to say, each and every word I wrote about you is true. Going by that statement, I can tell you, why don't you, pen your thoughts and send it up above? And you're a free child, you're a free student to write to anybody. Write to President of India, write to Prime Minister, write to Education Minister, write to who's going to stop you? I mean, at least you would have tried, and maybe you just thought this should be introduced, but let them decide. Let the big think tanks at this stage, let them decide at what level. Hey, listen, we're all parents of girl children, we're all parents of children who would want our children to live happily, comfortably, safely in the society without undergoing any sort of humiliation or any problem in otherwise a world which has always been against to something which we're not ready to take on, right? A journey of 10,000 miles starts with that one step, and she rightly said, so what, I take 3 steps ahead, I am brought back by 1 step, somebody pulls me behind, still I have gained 2 steps ahead. That is the height of positivity in today's talk, what I seen. See, today the interpretation of talks will be slightly more. The reason is everybody is talking a different topic. So we, the observers, will talk in between. So allow us to do that. Today being Sunday, I'm very proud of you, Devu. A wonderful topic you talked about. Yes, there are issues and limitations. The academic and age and all these issues are there. And we at our level, we can just trigger. And Dr. Chakravarti being one of the stakeholders in CBSE, if he finds it befitting, maybe he may mirror your thought. But before that, nothing stops you, Devu, in putting your thoughts to paper and forward this to an appropriate authority. Let them discuss and decide. If they find merit, they would do it. Otherwise, they would say it was discussed at appropriate level and now the decision is kept in abeyance. They will reply you, I am telling you. Our system is so transparent. Can I request Dr. Chakravarti, sir, a few words from you on this topic?
Devika, congratulations. You have been very bold enough to choose this topic, firstly. Secondly, you have expressed so many thoughts regarding the issues faced, particularly in schools. As far as the legal things, the marriageable age for any child is after 18 only. Before 18, it is considered as a child marriage. Therefore, I feel, it is my feeling only, to choose a partner is not appropriate, or we should give that sensitivity through our education, but definitely not, giving a kind of choices at that before the school age. That's as Wing Commander said. It is a debatable topic at what age we should introduce, at what age we should give this kind of education. Is it a right age? But till the time, definitely sensitization and giving them a place, like let it be in uniform or let it be in expressing their sex. It's a very good breakthrough is all the CBSE circular recently, sir, 2 years back it came, in all the application forms, we should mention whether it is male, female or this one, any other. The third column should be added as per the CBSE circular. So slowly things are getting changed. But I feel the society or even our mindset is not so matured to accept the changes suddenly. Definitely points are noted, whatever the things that you have expressed, it is considered, it is understood with empathy, and I hope that things will change in the coming times. But still, there are so many constraints. People are looked at in a different angle. If anybody takes up these issues, they are looked at that kind of maturity. If we get it in society, things will definitely. I am hopeful that the situation in schools and colleges will change. Okay.
That's wonderful,
Thank
sir.
you.
Very, very nicely you put it across. Yes, he is also of opinion. Things are changing and changing very fast for good, and things will look up bright and good. Yes, nothing stops us in communicating up above. Yes, will it be considered at appropriate level? We will leave it to them. So nice.
Right.
And she also made a mention about choosing gender specific, gender neutral terminologies to mention
Yeah.
students and
Correct,
professions.
correct.
Yes, I very firmly believe for long years I have stopped addressing Vidwan Vidushi. It's only Vidwan. It's gender neutral. I mean, someone who drives a car is a driver, be it a boy or a girl. Someone who pilots an aeroplane is a pilot, whether it's boy or a girl, a man or a woman. That's why we should look at it. I've been supporting this. Way back it used to be said, even if you say she, there is a he in him. You write the name Sushila, Susheela, there is a he in him. That means there is always a he in she. The other way, possibly it is not true. So let us be gender neutral in coining the terms henceforth. Wonderful, nice talk. And round of applause, Devika. Very proud of you. Yes, when you want to leave, you can leave the classroom and go and do your job. But please forward this document at appropriate level. Need be, I'll have a word with your father, and let's do it. What you thought is very, very right and nice and just. Next, I have the Atti sisters. Today, for a surprise, all the three are joining from Tirupati. Otherwise, Geetika and Kyatika used to join from Badmer. Now today, Geetika and Kyatika have come to Tirupati. So it's going to be Geetika Atti, Kyatika Atti and Pranati Atti from Tirupati. They have come to celebrate Deepavali. Over to you, Geetika. Start.
Good morning everyone, my name is Pranati Atti from Tirupati. I'm studying in 9th grade, and the topic I'm going to be talking about the impacts of music. The definition of music is that music is a sound that conveys emotion. A mother humming or tuning on her baby would probably count as music. Music has its own rhythm. Another important component of music is rhythm. Our early ancestors may have created rhythmic music by clapping their hands. This may be linked to the earliest music instruments. Technically, anything is considered music in this world. Nowadays, it's just clapping to even talking. Some astonishing researchers have described how music throws magical effects on human nature. We sometimes feel sad and want to listen to sad music that makes us sad. But in the same situation, if we start listening to some refreshing party music, our sadness will be blowing away much. It would not be wrong to say that music leaves a lasting impact on the mindset and human nature in different ways. Different styles of music have different effects on human nature. Music also has many benefits. Some advantages of music on youth especially are that music helps bring back good memories and all the time you spend with your loved ones, which is a great thing to experience in life. Researchers, scientists, and even doctors can confirm that listening to music can heal people and can help them in their life. For example, there were and are a lot of cases where music helped deal with depression and saved them in a way which I understand. Another advantage is that in my case, music makes everything better and can turn any boring work into a fun experience. For example, if we're doing boring work like helping to do chores or something of that sort, listening to music can make it fun and we can enjoy doing it, which is important. Of course, not fun. It is obvious that many people in the world are not into music, but for people who love music, it is always a blessing. As stated by an American publisher, people with an immense love for music or singing tend to be very creative and creative. We all know that music has many more advantages of music than there are disadvantages. Talking about disadvantages is another time. The scenario I could think of is the constant exposure to the music can give harm to your hearing sense as well. Some people have a habit of listening to music at a loud volume that can give harmful effects on their hearing sense. Any kind of music that is above 85 decibels will be leading to physical pain in hearing and will reduce your ability to hear over time. Another scenario that is often found in society is the language and intensity barriers of music. A few may think that their language songs are better than others. Some may think that classical is better than Western, while others may prefer classical instruments found in used in India. It's like a mother trying to feed the baby more than its capacity. The other way this could be rectified is by feeding the baby by giving some time that the mother is able to. Lastly, some people, especially kids, prefer to study or do any kind of work while listening to music, which can lead to distractions. For example, if we're studying and a favorite song comes on, we might not concentrate on our work anymore and we'll sing along to the music. In conclusion, the point I'm trying to convey is that music is something that doesn't have to be a particular tune or song, but it can be anything that can convey emotions or express feelings in some ways, and there are many advantages and disadvantages of music. That's it.
Yeah, thank you. Pranati knows how to impress us. She spoke about music. This is my weakness too. Very nice. Pranati, before I continue, Pranesh has to go for a hospital duty. Geetika, if you can just wait for a minute, I'll pin Pranesh. He's got a hospital duty. Pranati, also, there is a lot of audio disturbance in your place. Can you please close the door? Because I still hear Deepavali in Tirupati. There's a lot of Deepavali happening outside. If you can close the door, I'll get back to you. Very nice topic. Yes, disadvantage. One should not get addicted to what he does for so long. 85 decibels and above. Too much of loud music. I've never heard music through headphone. I've never. Okay, that gives you a fantastic musical feel. But we do end up in spoiling or disturbing our auditory capacity. And there is a very seriousness of somebody turning deaf. Good. Thank you. Round of applause. Next speaker. Pranesh Rangarajan from Bangalore. He's got a hospital duty. He has to leave now. So Pranesh, over to you please.
Yes sir. Namo Ratnakara Dhautapatam Himalaya Kiritini Brahmarajashvi Ratnadyama Vande Bharatamatam. So with this itself I would like to start with the name of the topic as Sanskrit and the nationalism on my own perspective. I salute to my mother India whose feet are washed by the seas, that is all the tri-seas, adorned with Himalaya as a crown. She who possessed many Brahma Rishis and Raja Rishis, that is many intellectual sages and king sages who wanted to rule this country for the betterment of the world. So Sanskrit and nationalism is something that it has been pretty much intertwined in our day-to-day life and day-to-day usages of the language in particular. Now, when you tend to when you tend to find one thing about good things about a nation, it's very much plenty. Plethora meanings, plethora of shlokas, what you say, other subhashitams, various other sources. In fact, in many other languages too, they too have it. But the crispness, the concise nature of conveying the message to the people at the masses, it's very much enshrined in our Sanskrit language, which is our own native language of the country. Now, I got influenced with this idea because of our own Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Modi ji. Wherever he goes, he makes sure that our classical languages do get concentrated well in the speeches itself. That's how I inherited this topic and thereby the passion in reciting such unique phrases in each and every conference, each and every group discussions. Now, our country has been pretty much of a saying, Balidanam Paramo Dharma, sacrifice is the highest religion. We always took it in a positive way. Without that, we never had freedom fighters like say Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, who gave freedom from outside by creating a disharmony within the British Army, which had Indians at the large numbers. Then we had people called as the Bhagat Singh and Sardar Udham Singh, whose movie has been created recently. Everybody must watch that movie for sure. It's so nationalistic about him. He killed Michael or Dwyer for the benefit of students at the large, not being country at per se. So that even what do you say? In Shukla Yajurveda, 9th chapter, 25th verse has a very prominent phrase. Vayam Rashtre Jagrayama Purohita Swaha. So it is when you tend to decipher this particular phrase, it means that nation is for the nationalists or people who love or who are ready to sacrifice for the nation, and that word Swaha is generally meant as give and take policy. It's similar to like a computer operator where people use I plus for a particular function and I plus plus for a function which has to be streamlined in a unique manner. So such has been the importance of Sanskrit and the nationalism per se. Now regarding the cultivation of the language and to make sure the Sanskrit is being used, one has to follow the model of Israel. Hebrew is such a language that it had been almost erased like us, but they made ensure that Hebrew becomes a national language. They had spent enormous amount of money, infrastructure in the promotion of Hebrew language. Even if a non-Israeli person learns Hebrew and resides in front of a Israeli person, they too get appreciated, and the non-Israeli person gets the support in return. Now, similar support, similar rapport, we need to develop as an Indian, as how an Indian thinks about conservation of his own native language. Now, despite the fact that we have all sorts of national programs, we have all sorts of we have something called a Central Sanskrit University schemes, introduction of Sanskrit in the national curriculum. But still, the debate about the national language, Sanskrit plays a major role in unifying the whole country, I say. Even it is said that southern India doesn't have problem of adding Sanskrit as the national language, and even the East India would also agree with it. The problem is Bengal mutiny all started because of languages, what I feel that in long run Sanskrit will play a major role at least in another 50 years down the line for the unification of the nation, and even the principal sir and Yajna sir will also accept with this. A common language will unify us all, because the Sanskrit grammar is integrally present in all the Indian languages. For example, if we say as we say a drum as patram. Patram is nothing but simple vessel. It's almost present in all the southern languages. Apparently, even in Bengali, it is present. So, similarly, what we say as jal, the neer, then we something say as vayu, Then we say as Agni. Agni is something that almost every other language is, we follow it. Whether we use it for natural purposes, whether we use it for Vedic purposes, whether we use it in our own common terms. So apparently even the Vishnu Purana also says, Gayanti Devaha Kila Gitakani Dhanyastu Te Bharata Bhumi Bhage Swarga Pavarka Spadamarga Bhute Bhavanti Bhuya Purusha Suratvat. So it means that even the God thinks that men who are born in this Bharat Varsha, which is a path to heaven and liberation, are more fortunate than us gods. In order to correlate with this sloka, I would, better give current affairs example of say UPI and COVID network that we people are using it for vaccination network. Now UPI is something that our Prime Minister had envisaged since assuming the office, that we need to enrich payment service in such a way that it reaches the masses instead of going into the hands of the elite and the industrialists. Now, because of that, what happened is, with the help of a simple mobile and SMS networks, he and his own parent companies, NPCA, has instrumental in enabling a simple virtual payment address through which people can also use it, so that everybody, including us, even if we want to spend a single rupee through our bank account, we can do it in very pretty easily. And similarly, what we have amazing system called as COVID network, where our country is the only country in the whole world who is producing barcode enriched certification of vaccination. Apparently, even the UK, even the countries like UK or US and Canada, they are puzzled at how come such a developing country we are developing such a long-term enriched systems for the masses, and that too for the population of 1.3 billion people. So Sanskrit gives us all these things, betterment of the whole world in general. Like in Rigveda, how what we say, Sangachatvam, Samvadantam, Samvo Manasam, like that. Similarly, Sanskrit is the only language which makes people think about the masses and for ourselves. But the thinking about masses will be much more enriched. One who learns about the good things from Sanskrit, as far as I have learned till now. Now, I would like to conclude by saying that instead of degrading the language, we should promote it, and if possible follow the Israeli model or else say Iranian models. They accept their history, they accept their ancient perspective, but they should not lose their identity in order to compete in the modern world. Thank you.
Thanks, Pranesh. No further discussion on this, because nobody can contest what you say is absolutely fine. It's something like a uniform civil code, what Anushri said. Maybe, in years to come, if this happens, we'll be very happy. Thank you so much. There are so many other speakers.
Can be made as a national language under the constitutional amendments, but the political will has to be questioned.
Political will, absolutely. Thank you, Pranesh. Okay, I get back to Pranati, Ati and sisters. I'm pinning you, Atis. Back to you. Geetika, please continue.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Kyatika. So I would like to tell about advantages and disadvantages of Indian education system. With the advancement of education in India, it has been seen an excellent development in the field of economy. People are less employed, and some of them are freelancers or rather self-employed. And also due to this education thing, there has been a decrease in the child labor, and also some child labor has been gone down. There are also reservations made for the education, like SCs, some of the percent of given, like that. And about Indian education system, there are less advantages and more disadvantages. Like disadvantages are most subjects, for example, science and material science, center around persons reading information when there could be fun applied subjects to learn. There is lesser spotlight on physical training and sports, and more spotlight on concentrating throughout the day. And the biggest problem is that there will be more homework. More homework will be given, and we need to concentrate something, which is that the topic of and schoolwork puts a gigantic measure of weight on understudies, which is staggeringly hard for some of them to tolerate. There is less spotlight on character working, and the same number of schools don't exercise on decorum and quiz. Enormous classes in schools imply that there is less spotlight on every understudy's learnings. There is previous and understudies training venture during and just as after school. So I would like to conclude that there is like more disadvantages are there. Like there should be more advantages. Like we need to make our Indian education system more efficient so that every student come forward to learn. Thank you.
Thank you, Kyatika, very nicely put. And for all of us to know, the word physical training is getting replaced with the word outdoor training. It is no more physical training at all. It is now going to be called outdoor training in a holistic way. I would request the stakeholders to start using this term very liberally. It's an approved term which is going to be constitutionalized. The word outdoor training is more relevant where it has got much beyond the physical aspects alone. So maybe I would request the principals and other stakeholders. Outdoor training. Now, what Kyatika says is the outdoor training component compared to the academic component. Outdoor training can be non-academic or it can be accessible also. Very many of the schools, at least Sainik schools, have the outdoor training accessible activity. Somebody part of NCC, somebody has done parade, somebody has done physical activities, somebody has done sporting activities, games and sports. They're all part of accessible activities. So I would request maybe, one of the students, maybe Kathy can do it. Kyatika, why don't you write this to CBSE? I'm telling you, it's not impossible. Write this because a word from student is always accepted with more weightage because we do it, people would think we are doing it with vested interest. कि यार इनको उसमें इंटरेस्ट है इसलिए वो कर रहे हैं बट स्टूडेंट का ऐसा नहीं है स्टूडेंट कैन वेरी वेल राइट यूज द वर्ड आउटडोर ट्रेनिंग एंड टेल सर व्हाई नॉट आउटडोर ट्रेनिंग एक्टिविटीज आल्सो शुड बी accessible. You assess a student holistically, not only based on pure academics, non-academics, personality development, public speaking, parade, drill, sports, game, yoga, swimming. If you can assess them in a big way, why not? Dr. Chakravarti has got something to say, sir, please. So your mic is off, I think.
Sir, sorry to interrupt. Actually, they are accessible and they are given grades for their evaluation. They are being graded and they are reflected in their marks cards. Even in 10th standard CBSE marks card, it is.
Yeah, it is only for CBSE. Other schools do not bother much about it. Compared to CBSE and a state-owned syllabi, the private schools do not bother much about. They wanted 99.999 sigma academic result. That's what I was wanting to mean. Yeah, thank you so much, sir. And
Sir,
Kyatika,
our administrator, ma'am, Srimati Rachel Sugandhi, she joined.
Acha, she's the one. Yeah. Madam Rachel Sugandhi and one Mr. Satish have recently joined. Let me also welcome Srimati Rachel Sugandhi and Mr. Satish. Nice being here. Maybe towards the end, I'll request you to, or would you like to have a word, Madam Sugandhi? Would you like to say a few words on this? I'm pinning you, ma'am. Miss,
good morning, everybody.
Can I have your video on, ma'am, please? Can we see you? Is it possible? Okay, up to you.
I am not in a very appropriate.
No issues.
I'm not appropriately dressed, I would say, very honestly, to on the video because I've been listening about this from a lot of time. Principal sir has been mentioning about this, but being on a Sunday, I'm usually a little lazy on the Sunday morning, so I've not attended. But today, somehow, when I saw the topic and said that everybody can speak on what they would want to, so I wanted to come in and just listen to how Sri Sharada School students were talking. But I'm very, very impressed the way Devika has spoke. It has taken me on a very, very, I would say, a delighted morning for me that started on my bed listening to Devika. And the way they express their thoughts, that's really overwhelming to listen to all the kids talking. And also Pranati about the music, Pradesh about the language. I'm just enjoying their talk. I'm listening. I am listening their thoughts. I'm trying to understand the thought process that's going on with them, and even Kathy, whatever she spoke about the education. So today I would just want to listen to everybody and get the feel of it. Okay, and I would surely contribute and be there every week so that I can add on to a lot of things what's happening with all of them. And also, I feel sorry that I've not joined all these days. I've not heard so many thoughts that are going on, because youngsters and talking, it surely gives us a lot of hope that there is a better tomorrow.
Wonderful, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
So nice.
sir. That's a great platform that you have brought in. And Principal Sir has been mentioning about this from quite some time right now. But then I somehow missed it, but I'll surely make sure I'm not going to miss it again.
Let me also tell you, ma'am, it is courtesy Dr. Chakravarti, because we started in a small little way. He assured me,
Yes.
sir, my students will be there. Don't you worry, every single episode they will be there. So they were always there, and he's done phenomenal arrangements. He has converted a classroom with a screen and a speaker and a projector with the technical
Yes.
expertise from Mr. Sujan Jose. And Mr. Jose has been doing a fantastic job again. Let me place on records my sincere appreciation, thanks and compliments to the entire team of Sri Sharda International School, Koppal, who been of amazing contribution. And I think he's also planning for some house-based competitions for the children, where Pramayas would certainly like to conduct and be part of that. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks for being here. And
Thank you.
yeah, let me also tell you. Okay, next over to Geetika. Geetika, after you had spoken, I'll sum it up in a way. Huh? Just a moment, Geetika. One second. Huh? Over to you, Geetika.
Yes. Good morning, one and all. I'm Geetika from Tirupati. Today, the topic I will be speaking is on feticide. So, as we all know, the life cycle, the beginning stages or the early stages where we enjoy ourselves to the fullest is being a baby or being an infant. But recent days, or we could say from the ancient days, we could see there are more feticides in which, in other words, it's also called as abortion. But in India, feticide doesn't only confine to females, but we could also say male feticides. According to
Geetika, can you be slightly slow? Be slightly slow. We are unable
Yes,
to
sir.
comprehend. Be slightly
Yes,
slow.
According to National Crime Records Bureau of 2014, we could say that there are 53 male feticides when compared to that of 50 female feticides. This we could see that there are more than 100 feticides that are happening in India, where the parents doesn't even care about their children. We could say these parents doesn't even have the right to life of the children which they are going to give birth. It's just their responsibility to give the birth to them until they are born. Actually, according to our constitution, it says that we should be under our parents' care up until age of 18 years. But if we take case of these parents, we could directly say that there isn't, they don't have any right to take lives in their wish. Of course, we have to see two sides of the coin, but in this scenario, we could say that there isn't any other side of the coin. The complete darkness is on the other side of the coin. And as we could say, the most punishable or offensive crimes are suicide and murder, where we could take the life of ourselves or others, which cost of more than 60 years of our happy and well-being life, which costs a lot of living. Yeah, in female feticide, we all know the causes of female feticide, as they all think that the females are a burden to them. In Telugu, there is also a proverb, there is also a saying that Aradi Abala. But we are females are always proving them wrong by saying, by going in new fields and entering, giving achievements in those fields. Whereas when we come to male feticides, it's more like a shocking news to us that there are more male feticides than female feticides. And it's also a case that in Saudi, city in Maharashtra, there was a clinic, which I could not specify the name. The doctor in the clinic was have done approximately 104 abortions up until date in 2016. So in there, the doctor would completely say that the gender of the child is female, irrespective of the gender which are coming. Even there are cases that 4 of the unborn childs are also found genderless. There wasn't any information about the gender. So we could say just for a cause of money, the doctor or the person is going to such an extent that taking birth of taking life of a small infant who doesn't even know who they are. They don't even know who they are. They don't even recognize their surroundings. So in this way, we could, there are the feticides are being reduced in modern times because of the awareness, but it still goes on. Because that's it. I would like to conclude my point.
Yeah, Geetika, very sensitive topic, very relevant topic. It is a very startling revelation or to know that the number of male fetus being eradicated even before they are born is as equal as or little even more than the female feticide, which is a very disturbing trend. Yes, I mean, yeah, the society has to become more sensitive towards this. Anyway, to just to change the mood, let me tell you one thing. Among the Ati sisters, as per the seniority, it has always been Geetika, Kyatika, and Pranati in their order of speaking, be it alphabetically or because of their biological age seniority. You know, in our Indian household, not only Indian household, throughout the world, you will find an older sister playing mother sometimes. Not sometimes, many a time. A older sister always is motherly, and the younger sister always behaves like a bacha. Today, what has happened? As luck would have it for Deepavali, both the senior sisters' cousins who have flown from Badmer, they are here at Tirupati, they'll get back to Badmer in 2-3 days' time. I thought, so Geetika would speak first, followed by Kyatika, then it will be Pranati. But it exactly happened the opposite. The little one, the most junior of the Atis, Pranati spoke first, followed by Kyatika, then it is Geetika. So can I request Amalu, Geetika, tell me, what is the reason you decided this order of speaking? Is it by default or it happened just because you wanted? Because I saw you were communicating with them. Please tell the world, why did you decide to do the reverse order today? Please tell us.
Well, it's not like it's by default. We just come up with based on the situation, we come up with that. If there is any risk, the elders would take care of that. If there is no risk, then they have to go ahead confidently with the
Absolutely, precisely. That is what I observed. That is what I thought the other children should know. It's worth emulating. A senior is always a senior, be it mother, be it principal, be it administrator, be it, because we have seen enough in life to allow the younger generation to do first, and we are here to do the risk management should there be a need. But let me tell you, juniors are much ahead and far thinking than what we are. But being senior biologically, age wise, it doesn't give us a liberty to be more experienced. Allow me to say this, just because I am 54, it's not necessary that I would know a notch more than Pranati or Kratika or Pranesh or for that matter even Ananya. Today, it is no more. Seniority does not come with maturity. It is a wrong norm but we Indians always believe seniors, be it a guru and he or she is the seat of excellence, we generally don't question. And I'm very proud of you, Geetika. Today you took a call that me being Akka, I will speak at the last. I think all of us put our hands to applaud your decision. That's very worth emulating. Thank you. I just go with the next speaker. We have Priyadarshini, Miss Priya from Coimbatore. Priya, over to you. I'm pinning you.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. I am Ms. Priyadarshini of Class 8 from Air Force School, Coimbatore. Today, I am here to share my views on the topic Importance of Moral for Survival. Basically, morals are what we believe are right or wrong, especially when it comes to know how we should act and treat other people. Moral value is the most important key that opens the door of a good character. We can't even imagine if there is no moral conduct, a society where we live would be a miserable place without kindness, humility, courage, and compassion within us. A person whose morality is reflected in his determination to do the right thing, even if it is hard or dangerous at that moment. If we are not taught morals from a young age, we would make decisions in the future based on needs and desires and emotions at that particular time, thinking which would be more easy and a shortcut path to escape without even realizing whether the option which I or we have chosen is right or wrong. Even our surroundings, be it people or anything else, keep examining us every day to make sure that we are performing a life protecting mission with the help of morals. If we were a moral person, we would be earning respect, trust, belief, and faith from others. For example, we take Shanti Social Service owner P. Subramanian. If he wouldn't have thought of giving food, snacks, etc. to give free for poor people and at a cheaper rate to other people, he would have never got respect and name in us people. Morals and ethics must be taught as we grow because they are not genetic, which we can get as we are born. Psychologically, acting morally keeps our reputation solid, relationships strong, and maintains a clear conscience. Being moral makes it easier to go on with the groups better and to be in contact with people. People accept individuals with good moral values. Individuals who possess these qualities are loved and respected by everyone in the society. Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King Jr. They made mistakes, they learned from them and led a simple and a truthful life. If they wouldn't have something called moral in their life and have never applied in them, we would never remember them and respected them. Morals are not only important for the people, but they are also important for the whole nation. The country is considered as developed when all its population practice more values in persistently. Moral values in the nation help in fighting various menaces like corruption, illegal practices, fraud of any kind, etc. If you have to be a moral person or our moral should be strong, we should always remember these values which I am going to put it down. Whatever the situation may be, we should always be towards the truthful side. Wrong is wrong even if everyone is doing it. Right is right even if no one is doing it. We shouldn't destroy others' property whether it is a small pin or anything big. Have courage within yourself to face any problems with confidence. Should always keep our promises to earn their trust. We should think twice or thrice whether we'll be able to keep up that promises and then we have to. Treat others with respect as we wanted to be treated. If we want respect from whoever it may be, the younger ones or the elder ones, we need respect from them, even we should treat them with the respect. Do not judge. We shouldn't judge anyone because when the person is poor, we never know that person will be rich any day. So we should not judge anyone. Finally, I would like to conclude my speech with a famous quote, "A good moral character is the first essential. It is highly important not only to learn but to be virtuous." Thank you.
Priya, you made us really proud. Keep your video on, Priya. Keep your video on. Let the world see you again. No questions asked because this topic, nobody, no rebuttal, no add on. Because what you spoke is bang on, absolutely hitting the bullseye. And for a student of class 8, speaking with such a courage of conviction, such a clarity of thought, such a moral uprightness, the one who's he himself or she herself is not morally upright in virtues and cherishing the values, would have not spoken this topic at all. So that makes my point, our point very, very clear. We got nothing to add on. The take home is, a right will remain right even if nobody is doing it. A wrong will never become wrong even if nobody else is doing it. I think you hit the bullseye. You made us so proud, Priya. I think this is one of your best speeches and one of the best ever speeches we heard as the stakeholders. A word from you, Chakravarti sir. A word of
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Yes, sir. Very, very clear, loud, and apt. Congratulations, Priya.
Thank you, sir.
So nice.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Let me also welcome Shri Lotankari from Sharda Shri International School, Koppal. He's the director, right, sir? Shri
Yes,
Shiva Prakash
yes,
Lotankari.
yes, sir.
And Lotankari sir is joining us after some long time. And he was there during our initial episodes. He's a very, very busy man. The house is welcoming you. Namaskara. Welcome, sir.
Thank
So
you,
nice.
thank you so much.
So nice having you around.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. And the
yeah.
children are really, encouraged to speak among, seeing, elites and the stakeholders of the society, the academic
Yeah.
stakeholders. And let me tell you again, sir, make it a point to say on records, Sri Sharna International School, Koppal, the entire team and the family is doing exceedingly well in whatever, endeavors they're doing. Thank you so much. Let me
Thank you.
pin the other speaker, Ms. Srinidhi Ramachandran. She's already ready. Her videos come on. She knows my, next in order is me. Srinidhi, over to you.
Good morning to one and all present here. I'm going to be talking about situational awareness. Imagine a hamster in a wheel. When you imagine a hamster in a wheel, it goes around the circle. It goes around running. But at one point of time in our lives, we've always been doing that. Maybe it is because of external influences, or maybe it is the exit of someone in your life, or maybe it is the entry of someone in your life. We change. At one point, we understand that we leave we leave a part of our soul in whatever job that we do, and we continue to do it wholeheartedly. And it's not from the beginning. It's not from a born where as soon as we are born, we don't start doing things according to wholeheartedly. In Tamil, we say mulu manala. We don't do that. At one point of time, when everything breaks or when everything changes, that's when we actually start doing things wholeheartedly. And this is very important because it actually decides the quality of the work that we do. It is not in doing things that are not wholeheartedly done will not give a better output than the ones that you're doing wholeheartedly. And as Priya said, the morals are important. And I'd like to talk about how life as a journey should be considered, and it should not be considered as as we're supposed to go to the final destination, and we look into going into the final destination, and we actually forget missing, or we actually forget to enjoy these little moments. And we actually start doing things like when I talk about situational awareness, I talk about things that should be done with our full concern. We should not consider an example where we actually pray or offer offerings into Pundi in a temple, and we pray to God, telling that He forgives us for all our sins that we have committed. But in reality, we are actually praying to God to actually bribing God to forgive us. But it's not so. We should do something because we actually want it to be done. When you want forgiveness, when you want sins to be, when you want redemption, you should do something that is actually good, and you should not bribe God or bribe anyone else to do what you want to do. When I talk about situational awareness is understanding. I should be fully aware. If I think that I am better off being a soldier than a doctor, then I won't be able to do the work of a doctor. Then I won't be able to do the work of a soldier. And I should be able to be aware of it. I should be aware of myself, and I should be aware of my interests and my capabilities, because those are the things that help me differentiate myself from others. And this situational awareness is not something that should be that can be copied or that can be taken away in a simple moment or in a fraction of a second, because this takes a long time. It is actually that moment of epiphany. Maybe you have it in your early days, or maybe you have it in your late days. But whenever you do, you must understand that these are the moments that you find your true self, or these are the moments where you actually find the true purpose of your life. And I cannot copy us just because I am doing something. I cannot copy, or I cannot copy it from someone else, because I won't be able to do what they are doing, and I would be only able to do what I am doing, because that is where I like, and I cannot go and take into someone else's life and do what they are doing. This situational awareness helps us understand why we are in a situation. If I am in a situation where I have to make a change, or where I have the decision to make changes or make quality decision about someone else's life, I have to make a quality decision. I cannot make some decision that will only make me live and not others live. I should live and let others also live. So situational awareness is important for a society. I cannot think of myself as an individual. I should think of myself as a group, as a part of the society, and do things. This is my review about situational awareness.
Wonderful, wonderful, Srinidhi. Srinidhi is always a very, very passionate speaker, compassionate speaker. She pours from her heart directly. She doesn't, mince words. She prepares very well, and she doesn't just speak from the text. She interprets the textual, references in her own way and says, very nice. And she says, being situationally aware and having a moral values, high morals, empathy, ethics, being considerate for others, and be aware of your own limitations and requirements. It is not only for me, it's for everyone. Sarve janaha sukhino bhavantu. Excellent, Srinidhi. And I thought Srinidhi is going to be a pilot in the Air Force. Now the moment she talked about a hamster in a wheel, she looks like a technical officer. Who knows? She'll do possibly a BTech or a BE engineering and join Air Force as a pilot. Right, Srinidhi? Wonderful. I have a very, very small rebuttal. Me going to a temple and praying to God and giving a kanikai, Mulu Manada, Kadavul, do this for me, I'll do this for you. Ultimately what happens? Let us all understand one thing. Whatever we offer to the God, even an abhishekam done on the idol, right? It is all figurative. It is all figurative. It is a submission from the Bhakta to the Bhagavan, and intermediary you have so many beneficiaries. Whatever is offered to God comes back to the society in some or other way. Fine. Even an abhishekam is given back as a tirtham, a minuscule part of it. Whatever kanika you put in the hundiyal, let me tell you, in the entire of Andhra, entire of Chennai, 99.99 sigma contractors and businessmen have Tirupati Balaji as one of their partners. Do you know this? They are the sleeping partners. Tirupati Balaji's name is entered in the contract document, officially registered, and whatever profit this guy makes out of the business, 10 or 20% of the contract money as promised by them is given to Tirupati Balaji in the hundi. He goes and puts it at the end of the contract year. When he has earned 20 crores, he will clean put 20 lakhs for the benefit. He is a partner of 10% partner. Fine. Now what happens? That money goes where? Tirupati Balaji doesn't eat all this money. Tirupati Balaji sleeps only for 2 hours a day in a night. Early morning to Kausalya, Supraja, Rama, Purva starts at 2 o'clock. Pavalinchadam, to put the god into sleep through a ceremony, happens at 12 o'clock in the night. Tirupati Balaji works 22 hours a day and he earns as a partner. And what does he do with that money? He keeps paying Kubera back the debt whatever he got during his marriage. But it's all given back to society. A small rebuttal, Srinidhi. I am not bribing the God by paying him. I am giving my submission to him. Ki God, you have given me this. Let me offer it back to you by way of hair. Even that, Srivari Kanika, it goes to some philanthropic activity, right? That is the only small rebuttal I had. I am not trying to bribe the God. It is by giving my half, my, whatever way I can give it back to him, to give it to society. I would certainly request a word or two from Dr. Chakravarti on this. Sir, over to you. That's a wonderful talk by Srinidhi.
Srinidhi, congratulations. You spoke from your heart. That clearly yourself are aware about the situation. That situational awareness you spoke very aptly by understanding about your own, what you want to say, you interpreted and gave in a lively conversation. Congratulations, I totally agree with your points. Of course, sir, I slightly contradict your statement even. There are people who bribe,
Yeah.
it is always there. Uh, Therefore, I agree with both of you. This side also is there, that side is also there. Right, thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful, sir. Yes. There
No,
are
sir,
people who do try to do.
I wanted to add.
Yes, sir. Please, over to you. Please. Yeah.
Really, she well said about one point about that instead of giving the God, do something good for the society. That's make a lot of changes in the other's life. Really, she said very well. Thank you so much for that, educating the society like that. Okay, in this age,
Young age.
really you have worried
Young.
much about society. Thank you so much.
And Srinidhi wants to join the Air Force, sir. I think maybe she'll graduate. And we're all
Yeah.
looking forward. Thank you, sir. Shiva, sir. Thank you so much. A wonderful talk, Srinidhi. You made us proud again. And the next speaker, well, I think we. What about
We
your
have
schools,
left
Red
with
Fort?
Sharda children only.
Yeah, but I do. How did I miss Red Fort? Okay,
No,
yeah.
no, Red Fort is our Sharda.
Yeah, but how did I miss that? In the order of seniority of speaking, I missed it. I'm sorry. Yeah, over
No,
to Red
may-
Fort.
I thought maybe you are thinking Sri Sharda, yes sir.
No, R, yeah. Okay, sir, okay. Yeah, your mic is off.
Rishi Kustagi.
Yeah, Rishi Kustagi. Yeah, I think you spoke before also, right?
Sir, you are muted.
Yeah, you spoke before also. Your mic is muted now. Rishi, I just muted my mic.
Rishi, unmute.
Unmute your mic. We can't hear you. We'll wait. Mr. Sojan, can you please help? Your mic is still muted. Yeah, in the meanwhile, till the time they get their mic on, I think, sir, for the next week also, there is one more thing, I thought of asking. Anushri was talking about Uniform Civil Code. That also makes us to believe the climate laws, Indian climate laws, are generally in consonance with the European laws. I leave it to the House. Please think it over.
Sir.
Should we have our own climate laws? And if that be so, why not? So think it on these lines. Maybe, one of the topics we'll have a debate. Because Indian subcontinent, if you see geographically, we have a separate entity altogether. To our left and right, we have, huge seas. It's only on top we have Himalayas. Top, I say north. So, does it really warrant? Maybe, you can put this thinking cap on. This trigger is given. Maybe one of these days we'll have a debate. Very soon we'll have debates. Very soon we'll have, now that it's going to be on Sundays, we'll have little
Extra
easy
work,
time.
yeah,
We'll have other
exactly.
issues. Okay, Rishi, are you there? Can I pin you, Rishi? Rishi, can I hear you?
Still,
Allappa, we can't hear you.
still,
No. Anyway, yeah, kindly get your gadget corrected. And in the meanwhile, all of you, in fact, what Priya said is very, 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 a very triggering topic. Morals. Having high morals, you're automatically respected in the society. Though people may call you a fool, kya yaar, what is this guy in this day of thing, he's talking about morals. Let me tell you, Priya, when I was a young boy, all my friends were, tatas, The tata in the neighborhood was my best friend. I used to go sit with him and listen to him. Tata means the old man who's about, if I can be, my own wife's, tata was my best friend. I used to go and sit with him, just listen to him. Whatever, they've, experienced over the years, it's amazing to listen to them. And I'm very, very proud at this young age, class 8, you must be what, 12, just about 12, 13 now?
Yes, sir.
That's it. So now, if you chose to speak on this topic, that means the allegiance you have towards these values, being morally upright. I can see a lot of books behind you in a beautiful book rack, nicely arranged. And I compliment you, Priya, for this. Do you read all of them? It looks so. You're a voracious reader. The way you spoke, you, Srinidhi, Rangarajan, all these youngsters. Okay, Rishi, are you there? Is your mic on, Rishi? Yeah, the moment I can hear you, I can get back to you. Till the time we are engaging. And Priya,
Sir,
Anushri, all
can I
those.
add a point?
Yeah, Pranesh.
Sir, actually, even the reason for taking the topic on which I had spoken, I came across a video by Acharya Maheshwaran, who is a Sanskrit professor at Madras Sanskrit College. He gave a very beautiful two-liner about Adi Shankaracharya. अष्टवर्षे चतुर्वेदी द्वादशे सर्वशास्त्रवित् षोडशे कृतवान् भाष्यं द्वात्रिंशत् मुनिरभ्यगात्. This beautiful two lines had constructed his whole life in such a way that everybody would imagine for his own life to be constructed in such two lines. Such a crisp and
Concise way of putting it up.
A
8,
concise way
16
of
and
putting
30. Yeah.
it.
So wonderful.
That was the main reason for selecting.
So I'm so happy Dr. Pranesh has come to the hospital, but still he does not want to leave the forum. He's logged in through his mobile. He left home, reached the hospital, and again he joined. Okay, wonderful. Thanks, Pranesh. Yeah, we can hear you, Mr. Sojan. I'm pinning Kustagi. I'm pinning you. Over to you.
Good morning, sir.
Just a moment. We start recording you. Yeah, please, over to you.
Good morning, sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah, we can hear you. Please speak.
Good morning, sir. I am Rishi of Prayer from Sri Shala International School. It has been a while since people get their awareness about the government works. And there is a versatile way that the government is also being controlled by two criticizers. According to the people, the government is controlling the people. And according to the government, there is a power which is controlling them. And this power is called as corporate. My topic for today is corporate threat towards common people and government. The main disadvantages of corporation is taxation. As a corporation, you will be required to pay taxes on your profits. If your income is distributed to the shareholders, then the shareholders also have to pay taxes on their return. While you as a corporate only have to pay taxes once. Due to those types of problems, many corporate companies won't pay the taxes. Certain amount by which many promises and projects has been cancelled because of no revenue tax paid by the government. For an example, the profit gained by a company is up to 1,000 crores. The tax that should be paid to the government is up to 22% out of their profit. So this seems to be a large amount of tax should be paid off. Instead, they will commit a 10 to 15% to the government party, ruling party, and gain some percentage of benefit. The party is benefited. The commission given is used for the personal use, not for the country. By this, many common people are being affected even after they are paying taxes to each product they buy and use. Thank you.
Oh, nice, wonderful corporate taxes. And Rishi, you also said some people do not pay. Who are those people who do not pay? Let us know them.
So the major corporate companies,
Acha, they evade, okay. They find a way to evade taxes. Yeah, what he says is right. Everyone should be at the same datum, everyone. But we have a different view in this. The way government thinks is slightly different. Anyway, that's a debatable topic. We will tell across. Now we are just running short of time. Can we have the other speaker from your school? The next one. Okay, Mr. Sojan, the camera, could it be fixed on the top of your computer? Because the camera is moving a lot. If that could be fixed. Okay, the next speaker. Again, your mic is gone. Muted.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Shravan. Today I am going to tell few words on the topic smartphones. Smartphones serve many important functions. Digital literacy is an aspect of young people's schooling and research shows. Smartphone can play a role in supporting such learning. It's important students learn with these devices so they can effectively participate in the workforce. The phones provide a link between students and their parents, which has an important role to play in ensuring their safety. Evidence indicates parents want this type of access. Teachers have an important role to teach students to be safe online. In relation to health, research shows medical apps are important to support the health of young people, such as managing diabetes, and apps need to be accessed during school hours. Rather than suggesting bans, we should be discussing ways to support young people to use their phones. Thank you.
Thanks, Shravan. Shravan says the importance of smartphones is just safety. That is what parents have given the phones to the children for safety requirement. They want to know whether the child is safe whenever he or she is away. Also to use the smartphones smartly and correctly when you do online classes. Thanks, Shravan. Shravan is speaking for the first time, I believe, right, sir?
First time.
Yeah, you've done well, Shravan. You've done well. And we will get to hear more from you. Thank you. And the next speaker from your school, please.
Good morning, sir, and good morning, everyone who are present here. I am Mukund from Sri Sharda International School, grade 9. And today's my topic is how media affects on adult mental health. Health experts love to say that sitting is the new smoking. Given the number of people it apparently kills every year, sitting is one of the worst things we can do for health. But possibly as concerning is the thing that we often to do while sitting, mindlessly scrolling through our social media feeds. When we have a few spare minutes, and as we probably know institutions have, as the research is conferencing, it is not the best habit when it comes to our collective physiology. The American Academy of Educators have warned about the potential for negative effects of social media in young kids and teenagers, including cyberbullying and Facebook depression. But the same risk may be true for adults across generations. Here's a quick rundown of the studies that have shown that social media isn't very good for mental being, and in same way it can be probably damaged. Thank you.
Can I call you back now? Program again. Can I call you back? Yeah, just. Yeah, Mukund, well done, very well done. Mukund speaks to us regularly, and nice. Yeah, all this, inputs. What we say is very relevant. Only thing, we should be serious in accepting what is good for us or what is not good for us. Try find a midway to see that it's a win-win always, without losing the focus of what we really want. Wonderful. Yeah, Dr. Chakravarti sir, from you please.
Nothing. Children, these are full children who are shying away in participating things. Therefore, they spoke, I think, out of compulsion.
No, bro. Yeah.
No. But yes, the proceedings of the day gave us plethora of topics, right from moral values, mental peace in youth, uniform civil code, LGBT issues, and music, and wonderful, really wonderful Sunday morning. All the children spoke really well. Some of the children have given valid suggestions also, that is, which are the real take home for the day on all the issues. As sir, I suggest let the choice be given for the next week too, like instead of fixing a topic, therefore their horizon
Absolutely.
increased, and those
Maybe
who are
we'll do one.
participating, those
We'll
are
do
listening.
possibly 2 weeks. We'll do own choice, and one
Sure.
of the weeks we'll give our selected topics so that they do
Absolutely.
some research also, topic
Yes.
oriented. It's a
Yes.
very win-win situation, and we plan
Yes.
for some other kind of training also, which we will surely come out very soon.
Very correct. With that suggestion, I compliment all the speakers for today, Congratulations. Congratulations.
And thank you, sir. Thanks for being around. It's very relaxed having a Sunday chosen, and I'm really thankful to your director, Sri Lotankari Avare, and your administrator, Miss.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you,
yeah,
thank you
sure,
so
sure,
much.
sure, sir. And your administrator, Miss Sugandhi Rachel was there, and the entire team, and each and every one of the speakers, and some of you really made us feel so wonderful. Be it Priya, be it Srinidhi, be it Devaki, be it Pranesh, anyone for that matter, Anushri, everyone spoke in such a manner because you spoke your heart out. So the next week also we will have a similar thing. That means you prepare a topic for about maybe 3 to 4 minutes. The moment we have a little longer, because then the others possibly will lose. Kriti is just joined. Kriti, would you like to speak? Just a moment. I see Miss Kriti Krishna Kumar. Kriti, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Oh, Kriti, can we have your video on? I thought we were just going to wind up. You?
Oh, yeah. We're on.
Yeah, okay. Would you want to speak today? Anything on any topic? Okay, I'm pinning you before I sign off. Had you not joined now, I would have possibly closed the meeting. Can I have your video on, Kriti?
Yes, sir. I
Yeah,
will
yeah.
on to one second.
As you're joining us, okay, I think Mr. Sojan Jose and your team, the Red Fort team, please, you would like to leave because you're slightly busy with the commitments, because they're all hostlers. They have the day spent with so many activities. I think, sir, Shri
Breakfast is
Sharda
already
team
started.
may leave. Yeah, breakfast is started.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr.
Right.
Sojan Jose. So nice of you. We will meet next week. And Kumari Kriti Krishna Kumar has joined us for the first time. She's a student and she's also a fantastic vocalist. On 19th morning, 19th evening, 19th of November happens to be Thirukarthike Deepam. We have a special concert by this young talent. She is a disciple of her own party, granddaughter and disciple of Srimati Prema Srinivasan, and also Kumari Amrita Iyer from US, Arizona, US. Amrita has just got married and we are very happy for her. And Kriti today will speak something on that. But tell me, Kriti, why did you join late? You should have come early. You had some classes.
No, sir. Actually,
Yeah.
I didn't know it. Actually,
Oh, you blame it on Kalpana ma'am. Kalpana ma'am, where are you? Can you come into the screen?
Sorry, sir. It's my mistake.
Yeah, it's okay. No, I'm just pulling a fast one. No problem.
And
See, yeah.
Next meeting will be on time.
You know what? All the speakers are allotted their slots alphabetically from the ID what they join. And from the same ID, if Kriti's friends would want to join, they can come to Kriti's place and speak. Because from the same ID, I allow them to speak in sequence. Okay, over to you, Kriti. Whichever topic you choose today.
I just tell about my music journey today.
Oh, you are the second speaker today to talk about music. Pranati also speak. Okay, Pranati, Ati, Geetika, you may like to leave. Yeah, thank you so much, Pranati. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. I'm Kriti. I'm currently doing my 10th grade. I initially started my music class when I was doing my 3rd grade from my grandmother. Initially, I didn't have interest to learn music. Out of force only I used to learn. My mother used to drive me for every classes and I used to cry. And exactly after 1 hour, I will say that enough of all the music class, I'm going back. No need to teach me like that. I will cry a lot. And I met Amrita Akka when I was in 6th grade. She did her bhajan concert in Velenur, which is my hometown. And she did concert till 1 o'clock. I was so fascinated by her singing. I just wanted to learn from her. I liked her singing a lot. Then once I joined her class, I learned a lot in music. When I was learning music from my grandmother, I didn't find that much interest to it, or she used to pamper me a lot. She doesn't used to scold me, and I used to learn very lethargically. I didn't take music so seriously. But when I went to Amrita, she is a bit strict, but out of fearness, first I started learning a lot. Then from basic she started to teach me, and I improved a lot when I joined her, and I learned dance for 2 years. She sang for my Charanga Bujai.
and all went on like that. Now I practice every morning, and I am sincere in music only because of Amritaka and Party both. Mm.
Yeah, wonderful, Kriti. Let me tell you, the message now given is, it's very biblical. Spare the rod and spoil the child. घर की मुर्गी दाल बराबर அப்படினா when Party was teaching me, I was lethargic. I was not interested just because it is Party teaching me. There is always a saying, வாத்தியார் பிள்ளை மக்கு அப்படிம்பா. You know why? It is nothing to do with வாத்தியார் பிள்ளை. Just because I think it is easy, it's available for me. Anything available for free, we don't attach any great importance. Anything available without any fatka, any effort, we don't attach much importance. I think the message given by Kriti, though she spoke just about her musical journey, today she is a concert performer. I'll tell you how did I meet Kriti. 2019, I believe, for one of the Purandaradasa competitions here, I was called as one of the judges. I was a judge out here, where I saw this child and she was very sincere doing, that time the parents spoke to me kind of. Then, I always felt nice, She was very sincere on the stage and she got first prize that time, right? Kind of. Yeah. She was the first prize winner that time. And then we've been following her music journey, we've been interacting kind of thing. And Kriti already performed for Pramayas couple of times in topical things. But this is the first time she's performing a concert. Full concert on 19th November evening, and the message what she gave is very nice. So don't take things lightly, and if you are pampered, sometimes it becomes counterproductive. I have to be strict, I have to be no nonsense kind of thing, then only I can enforce upon the learning teaching process in the most beneficial manner. Over to Dr. Chakravarti on this line. Sir, please, over to you.
I just want to say only one thing, sir. When she was explaining about her journey, there is a twinkle in her eyes.
Yeah.
With so much of happiness she was explaining. Congratulations, Kriti. So nice.
And sir, today, you know what? Had she joined a minute later, we would have closed the session. And Kalpana ma'am says, sorry, I had forgotten, otherwise I would have joined. And I think Kriti, you made our day. You spoke from your heart. See, there are very few of us who are very emotional when we speak. Be it Dr. Chakravarti, me, self, or Srinidhi, or for that matter, Priya today. Priya used to be speaking very measured. But today, Priya spoke very, close from her heart. She gushed out, And same, Devu, Anushri, Pranesh always speaks his heart out. And children, I'm telling you, whenever you speak, you may be wrong grammatically, syntax, thought-wise process. It is your thought. If you are right, we will accept. If we are not in consonance with what you speak, we just being little oldies in life, we have a kind of a liberty to say, beta, this is something like this. This is what we think. When Srinidhi speaks, she says, you're bribing the God. And Dr. Chakravarti said, sir, yes, sir, what she says is right. There are people who bribe God. And Dr. Shivaprakash Lodankari said, yes, she's right in having said, why are you spending so much that side? Why don't you become socially aware in spending towards the society? See, you know what? A right does not become wrong just because no one is doing it. A wrong does not become right just because everybody is doing it. Everybody is doing it. That is a beautiful line spoken by Priyadarshini today. Priya, you made our day. Thank you so much. Even having joined late, why don't you say, Priya, hello to everyone? You are meeting everyone for the first time. Sharda school people have left just now. Next week when you join, again I give the same topic as rightly recommended by Dr. Chakravarti again. Same topic, you can speak anything chosen by you. Next time when you come, you will meet so many new faces on the line. Thank you so much, children. It's a really wonderful Sunday. Little longish slightly though, but it is Sunday we can spend time. Kriti, you made our day. And Priya, Srinidhi, Koppal school children, Dr. Shivaprakash, Dr. Chakravarti, Ms. Rachel Sugandhi, Pranesh, everyone, you guys made our day today. Thank you so much. Wonderful.
Thank you.
I would also request all of you to attend to Kriti's concert. She sings so beautifully. We are dying to listen to you on 19th evening, Kriti. God bless. Thank you so much. Namaskaram. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.